This is the Main Street Media Middle Tennessee Game of the Week, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Let's go live now to the field.
Big region game, as you said, but Wade, we knew going into that one, Page was likely to win and likely to win by multiple scores. It had a chance to be a blowout, and it was. This game here tonight, I will say there is always the possibility for a blowout in high school football, but I would be very surprised if this is not a four-quarter game where BGA has their opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. Of course, CPA, the home team, they are the defending region champion, defending state champion. No question, they are the favorite going into this game, but I think BGA is going to have a real opportunity.
This is going to be a fun one tonight, folks. Once again, alongside Jacob Underwood, Wade Neely saying hello. Chris Yao is making some magic happen back behind the screen here. He's over in East Tennessee, getting ready for a birthday. Let's shout out to Chris Yao.
Shout out Chris. We appreciate Chris.
Making the magic happen. And, Jacob, I asked you to help fill in for this game about 10 to 15 days ago, and you said, oh, yeah, I was already going to be there. You were pumped. This one was already circled on your calendar.
This one was circled on my calendar. You know, it's an interesting evolution for BGA and what the season has been.
Okay.
So we'll obviously have four quarters to talk about what the Wildcats have become over the last now 9 months since hiring Bobby Bentley. But BGA had some hope and some expectation going into the season, which is different. That program has not won a lot in recent seasons, but we knew when they hired Bobby Bentley from South Carolina that he had potential to put an offense on the field that could score a lot of points. We saw in the first 2 weeks of the season, they put up 69 points, they put up 68 points, and they got everybody's attention very quickly.
Yes.
Week 3, home game against Nashville Christian. Offense, I was there on the sideline that night. The offense was once again spectacular. And obviously at that point, you've set up expectations and say, hey, if somebody's going to challenge CPA in this region, it looks like BGA is going to have a chance.
Why not us?
Yes. And so I circled this game and said, I want to see how BGA stacks up against the best, which is CPA.
It is going to be a fun one. You mentioned the BGA offense. Eye-popping numbers through the first 4 games, averaging over 50 points a ball game, right around 51.5. The defense is surrendering 19.8. CPA, though, not necessarily flashy in terms of their numbers, but they're not really a flashy program. They are just lethal and efficient. Year in and year out, they come in averaging 32 a ball game under Ingle Martin and surrendering just 13.5. They have won 12 games in a row in the regular season, going all the way back to a loss last year to Pearl Cone, which is nothing to sneeze about, of course. This CPA bunch, with a lot of the hype and a lot of the buildup comes in on BGA's side. What do you like out of CPA ahead of this showdown tonight?
Well, CPA is tested. Opened the season with Brentwood Academy, pick up a victory in that one, and they had to play a 4-quarter tough game. Following week, you referenced Pearl Cone, defending state champion.
Got revenge.
They got revenge against Pearl Cone. Week 3, JP2, not as tough of a test. But then last week against MBA, although I'll point out MBA has a freshman quarterback after they lost their returning starter to a broken collarbone. Physically, line of scrimmage, first half of that football game, they were up 21-0 very quickly.
Right.
MBA is usually a strong physical team at the line of scrimmage, and CPA just dominated. What CPA does is very simple. They are going to win the line of scrimmage against most, if not all, of their opponents. That's where BGA has an advantage because they're going to play sideline to sideline. They're going to get the ball down the field. they're going to work a couple of trick plays here and there. Bobby Bentley is a play calling magician. And so that's what you've got to beat CPA away from the line of scrimmage. You're not going to win one-on-one up front. CPA, if they can control the line, if they can run the ball, which is what they do, control the clock, that's going to be to their advantage. I think that they'll be able to, but we'll just kind of see how this one unfolds.
It is going to be a fun Thursday night here. As this time last week, we were bringing you a game on the south end of Middle Tennessee as Giles County defeated Lawrence County in the Cowbell game. And we have ventured back further north. It is going to be a battle of two unbeatens. We will have the results of the coin toss, and we will have moments before kickoff on the other side of this timeout. You are listening to the Main Street Preps Thursday night game of the week, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Jacob and I are back right after this.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Being a part of a cooperative is being a part of something bigger. Farm Credit Mid-America is a customer-owned lender that specializes in agricultural financing for farm real estate, operating, and farm equipment. A unique benefit of being a part of the Farm Credit Mid-America Cooperative is our patronage program, which has put over $1 billion back in our customers' hands over the last 7 years. That's the power of a cooperative. Visit us at fcma.com to learn more.
I own the land.
I farm the land. Together we're farmers. This is our cooperative.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Invocation, national anthem in the books. We are moments away from a Thursday night showdown unlike any other. It is undefeated CPA playing host to undefeated BGA. This matchup was one we did on the campus of Battleground Academy last year. CPA was lethal, winning that one 41-7. Jacob, as you mentioned a moment ago, BGA was building a lot last year already before Coach Rodriguez departed. But now, under Bobby Bentley, he kind of has already taken what was a promising little program and has injected even more life into it. I think this is going to be a fantastic showdown this evening.
Well, you're talking about a program. We got to go back 20 years now, but we're talking about a BGA program that won multiple state championships, one of the best programs, regardless of classification, anywhere in the state of Tennessee. They haven't been as good for the last decade or so, at least consistently good. But you look at the private school scene and what we've seen all around Middle Tennessee. Lipscomb was the first one when they hired Trent Dilfer to step up and say, we want to win state championships. It's pushed other programs to make that kind of commitment. BGA stepped up when they hired Bobby Bentley and said, we want to win a state championship. This is the first opportunity to really prove what that investment was.
4-0. Again, BGA, we ran through it. You will see their offense first. You'll hear us call their offense first. Arnett Hayes, Caden Marable, Ethan Killam, three of their top playmakers. And BGA in white uniforms tonight. White tops, white bottoms, yellow trim, blue trim, and blue helmets. CPA's in their traditional purple and gold helmets tonight. Big crowd on hand. Senior night for several CPA teams this evening. They recognize the cross-country squads as well as the golf programs. Just to get a little extra juice on a Thursday night. We appreciate you guys being with us here on Main Street Media Radio. Alongside Jacob Underwood, Wayne Ely saying hello. At 7:02, toe has met leather, and we are officially underway. And BGA will take a squib kick right around the 25-yard line. And a good little hit of steam cutting up field. That's Locke Kennedy, who's a senior. And Kennedy right around the 40, where the offense will take over. BGA begins this opening drive on the right side hash. Again, first-year head coach Bobby Bentley will go through his impressive resume throughout this broadcast. We'll also do the same for CPA head coach Engel Martin. But here we go on 1st and 10. This is a toss toward the near sideline. Far sideline for the players, near sideline to us. And we mentioned Arnett Hayes, the senior wideout. He hauls it in. He's out across midfield, and he's pushed out of bounds right around the CPA 44.
That was an easy 15 yards for BGA. You don't see a lot of teams do that in high school football. Out route, and CPA just not used to seeing that kind of quarterback wide receiver connection.
Sets up 1st and 10. Driving toward the, what would that be, the east?
I believe, yeah, that would be the east.
My geography sometimes escapes me here, but I believe we're driving toward the east end zone. First handoff of the night. Never really got a full head of steam, stumbling out of the backfield, but Ethan Kellum did a great job. He's the team's leading rusher, and he picks up about 6, maybe 7 yards on that tote.
Very early on here, looks like CPA's defense on their heels a little bit. That opening pass play kind of pushed them back. They were a little more conservative there, and they only had 5 in the box, and BGA against the soft box able to pick up an easy 7 right up the middle.
Ball just inside the left hash. BGA with trips to the right. They send one in motion to the left, and a little freeze. Now a deep handoff. Good carry there for Kellum. He's finally pushed down after a long attempt at a tackle there. But amidst all that, there was a flag that came in relatively early into play, and we'll have a holding penalty against BGA here. The Wildcats going to be backed up.
When I saw BGA 2 weeks ago against Nashville Christian, the only reason why they didn't score 60 points, penalties. Penalties were a bit of a problem in that game, and we see here a really good drive, now pushed back 10 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and long.
Got a feeling that as good as BGA is, as talented as they are, they will have to play a clean game tonight if they want to pull off this victory on the road this evening.
Going to have to play a clean game, even though it's only been 3 snaps, Wade. I tell you what stands out compared to most high school games you see is just how in command and in control this quarterback for BGA is. He's like a coach on the field.
We saw a little bit of Cade Marable last year in this game, as here's a screen pass toward the near sideline, and really play is blown up before anything could get going. Maximus Curry, the freshman, he did make the catch, but he was seated just as quickly as he was greeted there, and it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, they mark it officially. Hodges on the tackle there. Austin Hodges, one of the standout defensive players for CPA, and the Lions will have a chance. How aggressive do you get if you're Coach Bentley? 3rd and 12, just under 10 minutes remaining. Nothing, your score. This is the opening drive of the game. Twins to either side. Marable sitting down in the pocket, now firing right back to his wideout, Maximus Curry. And Curry gets a sizable chunk of yards.
Should be 4th and 4. I expect BGA to get right up to the line of scrimmage here. Marable can punt. So having him in at quarterback with that quick kick option really puts a defense on their heels because they cannot put a returner deep here. 4th and 4, they're lining up. Looks like they're going to go for it, but again, he might quick kick.
Big play, biggest play of this early ball game here. Twins to either side for the junior, Marable. who does take the snap. There will be no kick. There will be a throw. And, oh, my, a slant pass that is caught and just beyond the sticks. Talk about a big fourth down conversion, just enough for a BGA first down.
As you said, that was a 4.5-yard completion.
Whew.
Needed 4 yards for the first down. But on all three of those, or all four passes we've seen, Marable, again, very under control, great accuracy, traits that stand out to you in the high school game. Just in command, that pass was perfect on-time first down.
First catch of the night for Fletcher Fields, the sophomore. 8:50 to go. This is the opening drive of the ball game. Marable tossing now to the right, and nice little burst here to the freshman Curry. Third catch on this drive for Maximus Curry, and the freshman showing off nice little burst on this Main Street Preps Thursday night game of the week presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. BGA is rolling down to the 19. First and 10. Quickly they go now. Marable, as Jacob said, in extreme command of this offense, but also, as my colleague just mentioned a moment ago, penalties have been a bit of an issue for BGA, and the right tackle moves, and that'll cost them 5 yards.
That was a really interesting sequence. I'm going to have to figure out when I can offer analysis and when I got to stay out of this, because the BGA offense, that was a little Josh Heupel-esque, quick to the line of scrimmage there. But they had to wait for the chains to get set. Looked like the referee was holding for just a second, which then resulted in one of the BGA linemen jumping offside. They were almost too quick to the line of scrimmage.
After all that, they do reset. First and 15. Twins to the left, an H-back and a receiver to the right. Kellum is in the backfield for BGA. 8:20 to go. This is the opening drive of the ball game. 0-0 your score. Marable now will take the snap at around his own 30. Dumps it in the backfield to Kellum. Little safety valve. And he gets out to the 24. Small pickup there for BGA. Doesn't even get much of your yardage back here. It'll be 2nd and 15. No gain, they officially mark it.
BGA slows down just a little bit here. You referenced the freshman with 3 receptions already tonight.
Yeah.
Wade, they got 4 good wide receivers on this offense. It's not just a one-man show, and he's sort of the unheralded guy coming in.
Nice play fake. Now a slant over the middle. That pass is hauled in. First down yardage and then some for Locke Kennedy, who fielded the opening kickoff. First catch on this drive, and he signals, yes, that's our first down. Big pickup there. 2nd and 15, BGA. This offense is as good as Mr. Underwood advertised in our pregame show tonight.
Locke Kennedy, a big beneficiary of this BGA 4-0 start, got an offer and committed to MTSU recently. So it's not often that you see a senior emerge on the scene and get a scholarship offer that quickly and make a commitment to such a high-profile program.
He made a great Division I caliber catch right there, right over the middle. Big first down yardage. First and goal from the 9. Ooh, bobbled on the handoff. Fortunate to maintain possession there. Kellum taking the handoff out of the backfield. Kind of a little oopsie-daisy there, but he did maintain possession. And they have lost half a yard. And maybe no gain officially will mark it. 2nd and goal from the 9.
Even as quick as BGA has moved on offense, Wade, we are almost halfway through the first quarter. It's been a long drive, of course, converting that 4th down, but we're past 10 plays on this possession now.
Yeah, this will be number 12 here as they play fake. Now designed keeper. And Marable. Oh, my, the ball did come out there. And this time it hits the ground. And CPA is signaling that they have possession.
Referee
another
signaling down.
Another official comes in and says, yeah, he was down. Marable, very fortunate in that regard. 3rd and goal. So 1 bobble and now 1 fumble, but down by contact. Sets up a 3rd and goal. They are at the 5-yard line.
4 down territory.
6:02 remaining in this opening quarter. This is the opening drive of our contest tonight. Marable out of the gun. He will roll to his right. Flooding to his right.
Ooh.
In the back part of the end zone. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver. And Fletcher Fields unable to haul it in. And some personnel coming out for BGA. Looks like they will instead go for a short field goal here.
I am very surprised.
I'm kind of surprised, too, as well as the offense was moving.
You don't want to come away from this drive without points, and so I understand the decision to try to take the 3 here, but you're going to need 7, I feel like, to win this football game. It's going to take 28-35 to win.
Was that the first incompletion of the night?
I believe so, yes.
4th and 5 after the incomplete pass. Kick is on the way. And Cyrus Harr, the junior, boots a short field goal. And BGA does get its points on the opening drive of the ball game. It is a 3-0 lead for the Wildcats. Jacob and I return after this. You're listening to Main Street Prep's Thursday Night Football Game of the Week coverage presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
We are back with you guys here. Main Street Prep's Thursday Night Game of the Week coverage presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office alongside Jacob Underwood, Wade Neely saying hello. Cyrus Harr with a short field goal, putting BGA up 3-0. And now a squib kick, borderline onside in its attempt. CPA was not fooled. Luke Morrow, the junior, he hauls it in. Jacob, what'd you see that you liked on that first drive for BGA offensively?
Efficiency, as we said, moved down the field, took a lot of time off the clock here. More than half of the first quarter already expired. But BGA needed to come away from that drive with 7. Those 2 fumbles, the 2 bobbles, certainly hurt them. Now they're going to have to get a stop here. I think CPA is going to line up and just try to run the ball right at them.
Kind of a full house backfield here for the Lions, who do turn and give it. Oh, my, stuffed in the backfield. Biggest hit for either team as Rawls Patterson, the junior, was dropped in the backfield. I believe that was Justice Pittman, the sophomore D lineman. Patterson loses a yard. He's not used to going backwards. It'll be 2nd and 11. Back them up to their own 38. 3-0 your score. BGA on top. First offensive trip here for the Lions. They go back to Patterson. And a good carry over to the left side. But there is a hanky on the ground. It's kind of an area of holding, you'd assume.
Holding indeed is the call. Back CPA up. CPA is not the type of offense built to overcome 2nd and 21. We do have some confusion. Heard a whistle multiple times. They're looking to see what that was for. I think they had to Patterson. They sent Patterson off the field there. Referee did for something.
Yeah, he's kind of doubled over a little bit there. Not sure if he got the wind knocked out of him or small injury timeout.
So now 2nd and 21 without your primary running back. Of course, it's likely to be a passing down, needing 21 yards on 2 plays.
Again, this game last year was 41-7. CPA, if I recall correctly, Scott Stewart and I did that game, scoring on every drive in the first half. BGA kind of snuck in a score to make it somewhat close, but the damage had been done. Different script here, though, as the Lions are trailing 3-0. 2nd and 21. Ball on that far side of hash. They do turn and give. Very conservative play call. And running right into the front 4 of the Lions is the backup, Dylan Reed, the senior back. Man, and BGA has got some real pizzazz over there on the sideline. They are fired up. They did not have this intensity last year, I'll tell you that much.
I was actually going to say, you talk about that program a year ago, lacking belief, Wade. They believe this season, and they believe in this game. You can already feel the energy from that sideline very early.
This is a big play. 3rd and 20. There's already 8 minutes gone by in this first quarter. 3-0, BGA leads. Let's see what the Lions draw up. Houston Chance going to throw deep toward the right sideline into double coverage. Ooh, is there a flag?
No
There a
flag.
flag? No flag, says our official. Double covered indeed, but very close to making contact was Arnett Hayes, but he did a good job of defending without fouling, if I can use a basketball term there. And CPA is forced to punt.
That ball hung up in the air a really long time. It gave the safety a chance to get over. So actually 2 defenders in the area there. It sort of allowed for them to box in the receiver almost.
Like you said, it was a very tight window. And Chance almost dropped it in there. 3:55 to go. CPA will punt. This punt goes slightly over the head of your freshman, Curry, and he'll watch it take a small line bounce and eventually be down at around the 34. 3:40 to go. We're in the latter half of the first quarter here on Main Street Prep's Thursday night football game of the week coverage, presented as always by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who remind you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Alongside Jacob Underwood, who's just glad to be here. There's a huge crowd, and there's a lot of events going on at CPA. Parking was at a premium here tonight.
Parking was at a premium, and I tell you what, a defensive stop for CPA right here is going to be at a premium. They fall behind 10-0 with the way that their offense is built and the way that they like to attack. Going to put them in a very tough spot early in this football game. So and we got some confusion from BGA, so they have to take an early timeout. Although Coach doesn't.
We'll stay right here for a second.
Coach doesn't seem to think that he called it. There's a lot of confusion on the field here, Wade. I'll tell you, I watched Bobby Bentley up close and personal 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
From right up next to their sideline here, and he's a very animated coach. He's a very involved coach. He sees the game. He feels the game. He is. You can feel that energy when he feels like the play he has called is going to work. When he sees the safety positioned or the linebacker positioned out of alignment, and he's got the right play called. You can feel the energy. He is very connected to the plays that he is calling, is how I would describe it.
And the very first play was a beautiful pitch and catch to his wideout, Arnett Hayes. Bobby Bentley, coach at Presbyterian, head coach for a year at Presbyterian. But a lot of folks may be familiar with him during his time at South Carolina, where his son, Jake Bentley, was the Gamecocks quarterback. Most recently, however, part of the staff at Central Florida with Gus Malzahn, and now orchestrating a remarkable start to the 24 season for the Wildcats as BGA on 1st and 10 out of that timeout goes to the ground, and a good surge up the middle. Patterson and Sherrod combined on the tackle, but not for before 6 yards were picked up on that tote.
When they can pick up that kind of yardage with the run on first down, it sets up exactly what they want to do, because it puts CPA in a position where you got to commit the safety, and BGA might look to take a shot downfield here.
2nd and 4, and nearly fumbled. It does hit the ground, I should say. Second time tonight that we've seen a little shakiness on the handoff there. Marable does pick it up. It was designed to go to his tailback there, and on the exchange, Kellum lost the ball. Marable picks it up and picks up a couple of yards. It is 3rd and 1. They go quickly. I don't know if that was a full-blown tush push, but it was certainly a quick
I wouldn't
quarterback
describe that
sneak.
as the Philadelphia Eagles tush, but that's like one of one, Wade.
That's the
only unstopable play in all of football.
That was a Wildcat waltz we'll maybe go with right there. That's the best I can do on short notice. 1st and 10, though. They pick it up on a short QB sneak. And, man, BGA is picking up some big plays, but they're also living a semi-charmed life right now, because 2 or 3 fumbles that have all bounced right back to them. But they lead 3-0. 2:45 to go. We're still in the opening quarter. Toss toward the far sideline, and a great grab. Again, Maximus Curry, the freshman. This kid is very impressive. And as a 9th grader, they are going to Curry. And on 1st and 10, he picks up 11. BGA with a fresh set of downs, driving toward the east end zone here. They settled for 3 on their opening drive, and then forced a quick stop defensively. Here's the toss now. Arnett Hayes does bring it in, the senior. Hayes has already hauled in 3 touchdowns this season, close to 400 yards as the team's leading receiver. Good catch there on that far side. He picks up 4 yards. 2nd and 6. Ball at the 40. Great crowd on hand. It is a gorgeous night for high school football on a Thursday night here on the campus of CPA. Play fake, tossing now, long throw all the way across to the left side of the field. They do find Hayes, and he is going to be brought down a couple of yards shy. That was a long throw just to pick up 2 or 3 yards.
You said it before I could. That is a short gain on the sticks, but a very long out route pass. You see the arm strength that Marable has. You see the accuracy that he has. Those are tough throws for a high school quarterback.
From the right side hash all the way toward beyond the left side hash. Small pickup. 3rd and 3, though. Very manageable here. And hot route, and this is incomplete. Good job of jumping in front of that by the defender. That's Steele Chance, the senior linebacker. First real miscue tonight offensively, other than the penalties for BGA. And now another decision. They converted 1 4th down earlier. Do they go for it again?
They went for it in this exact spot earlier in this quarter, as you said, led to the field goal that they got. Again, Marable can punt. And so it's an interesting wrinkle where it puts the defense in position where they're not certain if this is a go forward or quick kick.
4th and 3. Yeah, you're right. Almost from the exact spot.
And now
BGA will take a timeout. We will take a quick break as well. We are back right after this. It'll be a big 4th down coming up as you're listening to Main Street Prep's Thursday Night Football Game of the Week coverage presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Fourth down here. Big decision. And BGA will go for it yet again and stopped. Quarterback keeper out of the timeout, and Marable tried to go right side guard. He is dropped. And with 1:14 left in the first quarter, CPA has its first real positive play of the night, and it comes on the defense. They forced the turnover on downs.
I'm not sure if that was the correct read or not. They had cushion on both of the receivers to the far side of the field, decide to go with that run pass option. Almost looked like he should have pulled and hit the quick slant again like they did on their other 4th down try.
CPA takes over, minute 14 to go. And the Lions go to the ground. And that's Dylan Reed. Let's keep our eyes on Patterson, who started this game in the backfield, came out, and then has not returned just yet.
I was about to say, Wade, I'm looking for him down here on the sideline. Of course, we got about 100 players in uniform, and our vantage point is not great, but if your number one running back is out, that's certainly going to change things for the offense.
Yeah, Reed, a talented runner. He picks up 7 there. But Patterson, the real jackhammer of the back there. 63 carries, 410 yards. Here's Reed, though, slipping. Kind of a nice play fake there for the Lions, who faked the throw to the right and then hand one off to Reed to the left. And Reed is out across midfield. CPA with its first real sign of positivity on the offensive side of the ball now.
Well, that's what CPA does. They won the line of scrimmage right there.
You called it in our pregame. You said they would like to dominate up front, and they go right back to Reed. That could be the final play of the quarter. And Dylan Reed will indeed take us to the end of the first quarter. You are listening to Main Street Prep's Thursday Night Football Game of the Week coverage presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Alongside Jacob Underwood, Wayne Neely saying hello. We will be back with the second quarter of action right after this.
He shoots, and he scores!
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
BGA leads this game 3-0 as we begin the second quarter here on Main Street Prep's Thursday night Game of the Week coverage. And losing containment on the opening play of the second quarter. Powerhouse football in the backfield, Jacob Underwood, as that is a big tote for Weston Parker and the Lions out to the 27-yard line. CPA instantly going quickly, instantly throwing to the right, instantly hauling in a first down. Gorgeous catch by Owen Cabell on the right side there. Run, and then when they think you're going to run it, you toss a quick out route, or a quick fade route, rather, and now it's first and goal.
I didn't want to step on you, but
we can barely keep up.
That was a Josh Heupel sequence right there. They picked up the first down. That was like they called 2 plays during the quarter break.
Sets up first and goal from the 2 now. Can CPA go ahead? Oh, yeah. Nice give. And Dylan Reed, what a nice drive. Their second offensive possession of the night. And the Lions march right down the field and stick it in for the first touchdown for either team. 6-3 is your score. PAT pending here for the CPA Lions.
An impressive drive for CPA there, Wade. Without their number 1 tailback, march right down the field. They look like the CPA offense. Offensive line controlled there at the line of scrimmage like I had talked about. We're going to stay here. So I'll tell you, I was watching during the quarter timeout and then on those last 3 plays. I have found Rawls Patterson. He does not have his helmet. Of course, he's the leading tailback for CPA, leading rusher on the team. Does not have his helmet. Appears that he will not be coming back. That's my speculation. But I saw him talk to Ingle Martin a moment ago. Quick words were exchanged. Looked like just sort of the confirmation that Rawls will not be returning tonight. So we hope that he's well. He looks to be in good spirits over here. But as for that drive, that's what CPA wants to do. Run, hit 1 pass play, take that deep shot when you got the safety kind of cheating down. Great route by Owen Cabell, great catch. And CPA 7-3 lead, so now the pressure right back on the BGA offense to score. It hasn't been many times this season that they have failed to score, and so I'll be interested to see how they respond after that unsuccessful possession.
What a game it's been so far here on Main Street Prep's Thursday night Game of the Week coverage presented by Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Max Curry, who's really kind of been the main playmaker thus far for BGA. He fields this kickoff at about his own 2-yard line and knifes his way up across the 30, now across the 35, and finally brought down at around the 37. maybe the 38-yard line. That is a good return for the freshman, Max Curry.
CPA's first kickoff of the night was much shorter, and we see why now. The speed and the athleticism of BGA in the return game is a bit of an advantage for them, so I'll be surprised if CPA gives them another chance. That was one broken tackle away from potentially being a 90-plus yard return for a touchdown.
1st and 10. Officially, they mark it at the 38. And the CPA crowd is saying, hey, play clock's down to 0. It should be a delay of game. And BGA, you're okay with it in the first half, but they burn their third time out. We still got 11:25 remaining till halftime. We're going to take a quick break as well. Jacob and I return after this. It's CPA 7, BGA nothing. When we come back, Main Street Preps Thursday night game of the week coverage is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Out of a timeout. I love the PA announcer here for CPA. He says, you guys see the flag, and almost insinuating, and you know it ain't against us. It's against BGA. Everybody's having fun out here tonight. It is a great night for football. 7-3 CPA leads. It is holding against the Wildcats of BGA, who led 3-0. And were really in control of this game early.
Well, that was a very uncharacteristic sequence. We talked about they had to take the timeout because they weren't prepared. Off of a kickoff, you have to take a timeout because you weren't prepared. We're going to get a delay of game penalty. And then you come out on your first play and you get called for holding. So now you're backed up to 1st and 15 anyway.
Give over to left, Kellum. I mentioned Ethan Kellum's been a great runner this year for the Wildcats.
Doesn't get a ton of carries, Wade.
He's kind of forgotten part of the offense, right?
Well, part of it is their offense has scored very quickly, and so in some games they haven't had the starters out for all 4 quarters. Actually, I'd say in 3 of 4 games the backups have gotten a lot of snaps. Otherwise, his numbers would be much larger.
BGA, offensively, they go back to the play fake. That pass in and out of the hands of the intended target, Arnett Hayes.
There is a flag.
Yeah, on that far side. Hayes on the slant. Had his fingertips to it.
It's a catch you need to make.
Yeah.
In a game like this one, that's a catch you need to make.
Especially in week 5, right?
Had potential, again, with a broken tackle to be a touchdown.
And that flag was in a weird spot. Let's check. Is that a procedure penalty against the Wildcats? It's 2nd and 6 at the moment. The official, they're really building the drama here. The referee is looking. I think they're asking Ingle Martin if he wants to accept this penalty or not. And they're debating. We got an ineligible man downfield, and that penalty will be declined.
I'm not sure that I would decline that one.
It's 3rd and 6 officially now.
3rd and 6 is pick-upable for this BGA offense. Convertible, I guess would be the better word to use there.
We'll allow it. They'll throw, and an absolute bullet over the middle. I don't know how Kellum, the tailback, had the hands to bring that one in, but he does, and then he cuts up, needing 6 yards, and he picks up 12 after all of that is said and done.
We were talking 2 plays ago. He's a tremendous athlete.
Yes.
You saw it right there. The catch and the turn get upfield very quickly to pick up the first down.
Man, what a good snag. 1st and 10 to 48. They go back to the screen. to the freshman, Curry, and we saw this play pick up big yardage on the first drive of the night. CPA's got this one read a little better, though. Lions leading 7-3 here in this big Division II showdown.
Maximus almost has as many catches in this game tonight as he had in the first 4 games of the season. It's a very different approach so far early for BGA and what they're doing.
Now they go back under center. Speaking of changing the approach.
Look for a play action.
You called it best. And a big deep ball downfield. Marable extending. That is caught.
Wow.
What a throw. What a catch. Fletcher Fields, the sophomore, has got the Wildcats cooking down to the 6-yard line.
That's what Bobby Bentley has been doing all season long. He saw something there. They had a mismatch. Beautiful play call, but a great job by Fields to extend and make that catch because it was a perfect throw, but an even more perfect catch right there.
Had to go full extension to make the grab, but he had 2 hands and secured it easily. 1st and goal now from the 7. Give up the middle, dashing, scoring. Big burst right up the middle as Ethan Killam puts BGA back on top. 9-7 here. That is a big sequence of events.
Game on, Wade Neely.
Yes.
We thought we would have 2 good offenses, and it took a little bit for both these teams to get settled in, but now we have game on.
Man, I'm going back to that play action. You called the play action, and we saw a couple of different plays on this drive that nearly saw BJ. Oh, we got a low snap here. A little fumble-rooski, and that play was busted every which way. It was a low snap. They couldn't get a fake on the scramble. And at the end of the play, the holder there, poor Bo Bryan, the holder, which props to BGA, by the way. They got holder listed on the depth chart there. That's excellent. That's a commitment to detail. Not only did he not get the throw off, he lost his helmet, he lost part of his mouthpiece, and his ear pad popped off. So an unfortunate end to what was a really stellar drive for the Wildcats. They still lead, though, 9-7 with 8:45 till halftime.
Let's revisit that drive a little bit, Wade. I don't have the ability to go to the quick stats right here in front of me. You're keeping everything on a piece of paper. BGA's probably run a little over 20 plays so far in this football game right now. That deep shot on the play action pass is the first time we've really seen them press the ball down the field like that. It took them 3 series, it looks like, to kind of get settled in completely offensively. But that's what they've been doing all season, is creating those mismatches, finding those deep shots downfield. Let's see if the offense, once they get this next possession here later in the game, if they really start to settle into this one now. That was an impressive response by BGA.
Really was. We
got a short kick that'll be fielded at about the 38-yard line. So BGA not interested in kicking the ball deep here, Wade, on these kickoffs. Giving CPA tremendous field position to start these drives. And I'm double checking here just to confirm. We've been talking about Patterson, the running back for CPA, and he is still over here on the sideline without his helmet. He's walking around. He's leading. He's getting the players fired up, but he is not on the field. So it looks like he's going to be out, as we said, for the rest of this game.
Don't want to speculate, but that kind of lends itself toward maybe like a concussion type situation.
Potentially.
More on that maybe later. They go back on the ground, however. Luckily, CPA's got a great backup in Dylan Reed, who had the touchdown earlier. 9-7, BGA is on top. This has been as good a game as advertised between these 2 undefeated Division II powers.
We talked about Rawls Patterson, of course, his brother Preston Patterson. They have 2 older brothers, including one currently at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Langston Patterson, who's a standout at CPA. So the Pattersons are like the first family of CPA football.
They've been doing it and doing it well. As they go back to Reed. CPA has had flashes, especially on that second drive. This is their 3rd offensive attempt of the night. BGA's offense is seemingly heated back up, however. And if they can maybe get a stop here, who knows what can happen. It is going to be 3rd and 2. CPA is at its own 45.
Heavy set, 2 tight ends here.
Powerhouse backfield. This is similar to the first play of the night we saw in terms of formation for CPA. And a give off tackle there. And Bradshaw Clem, great football name there, bulldozes his way for just enough yardage for the first down.
That was a very mature play execution right there. CPA tricked the defense, made them think that play was going left, and then a simple run basically right up the middle as they had the entire defense flowing to one side there.
Going
Owen Cabell there with the reception again. I don't have the official stats here in front of me, but I believe that's twice that CPA's put the ball in the air now. 2 for 2 in the passing game. They will not pass much, but they are so strong here in this run game. It kind of is forcing BGA to commit an extra man to the box. CPA doing a great job of taking advantage of it.
CPA still with all 3 of its timeouts, too. 2nd and 1. They'll turn, give to Reed in the backfield. Reed probably has the first down. Flying off the outside edge was Nate Fleming, the junior defensive end. I was going to say, he got that, right? The crowd was getting a little concerned there. Officials had not yet marked the first down. Now they do. 6:30 to go. 9-7 is your score. We now have, I'm proud to report, we now have our scoreboard, our live scoreboard up and running on our feed as well tonight. Kind of doing a little bit of everything here at CPA, where the host line's trying to go back on top, trailing 9-7. They give to Reed, outside edge. He wiggles off a would-be tackler, and a good job by Reed of bursting to the outside. Christian Thompson, the junior, brought him down. Otherwise, Reed would be off to the races for a touchdown.
That was a great tackle by Thompson there in the open field. As you said, that was a broken tackle away from a 40-yard touchdown.
They go back on the ground. Bradshaw Clem is in there on the give on the right side.
So CPA had the penalty on their opening possession, led to no points on that drive. But these last 2 possessions now, they are running the ball 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards on all of these run plays. They are pressing the BGA defense exactly like they wanted to.
I was just going to say this is exactly kind of what you anticipated in our pregame. 1st and 10 from the 31, gashing up the middle.
You see this with the better offenses in the statewide. Most teams don't have enough linemen to go 4 or 5 deep defensively. So if you're playing a 3-down lineman formation, your CPA, you just win one-on-one, and you're going to get 4 yards.
2nd and 6.
Size-wise, CPA is just bigger up front.
They do have some beef up front. T.O. Ote was the tackler there. Now, just as quick as we talk about the run attack, they dump one toward the sideline, and that was Owen Cabell, who had the big catch on the right side on the last drive. Now he hauls one in on the left, tiptoeing his way down inside the 4-yard line. No, they mark him out at the 5. 1st and goal from the 5. The Lions threatening to retake the lead here with 4:40 to play till half.
Very easy short pass, but 2 broken tackles turn that into a 20-plus yard gain.
1st and goal. Again, CPA, plenty of time, especially considering they got 3 timeouts. Full house backfield they give to Clem. He has stood up. I want to say that was Ote on the tackle, but there's also a flag on the play. Let's check a flag. Got a sideline warning against BGA, which is kind of interesting, right? Because all the referees and everybody for BGA is so far back behind the play. I don't know who's even checking the sideline for BGA. All the action is down on this east end zone. 2nd and goal from the 3. Direct snap to Clem. He's stopped in the backfield. Great effort individually there by Nate Fleming. Fleming flying off the edge and stopping the direct snap. It's 3rd and goal now from the 2.
Are we thinking that this is 4-down territory here, Wade?
Man, a field goal gives you the lead, but it kind of feels like 4-down territory.
They've taken their quarterback off the field, so they've got 2 running backs in the backfield here, creating a lot of
A wild play here and a walk-in touchdown for Preston Patterson. They had the Wildcat package, and they fake it to the right, and kind of a mini reverse almost as Patterson just cruises on the end around and into the end zone. What a wild turn of events, and what a play call there.
Well, I was going to say communication issues for the defense. I didn't want to talk over you there as they snapped the ball, but it's a great job by Ingle Martin, great play design. They were able to get the edge with the player who kind of came across the formation and scored on the backside.
3:39 to go. We're going to take our final timeout here in the first half. This has been a heck of a ball game as CPA goes back on top. You're watching the Thursday night game of the week here on Main Street Preps, Main Street Media Radio, presented as always by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
He shoots, and he scores!
3:39 to go. This has been a heck of a night. CPA is back on top. This game has been every bit as good as advertised. It is CPA leading here. 3:39 to go, second quarter. They kick it right to the same spot and right to Curry, who has another full head of steam. He's brought down at around the 34, but there is a penalty marker. Dylan Reed was on the initial tackle, but let's check everything. This probably is going to get backed up, I would imagine. Tough when you see holding on a kickoff return. With 3:33 to go.
Going back to that last CPA scoring drive there, Wade.
Yes.
Owen Cabell is a 3-star junior prospect. Got a lot of major college offers, I would say. Illinois is a team that's offered. So he's got some Power 4 offers, no longer Power 5. I got to get used to Power 4.
Get your nomenclature correct.
Yes, but we have seen he's now made 3 really big plays in this football game for CPA. Arnett Hayes for BGA. Going to be interested to see if they can get the ball now to their best player and if he can also make that kind of difference.
First play of this new drive. This pass is tipped. Broken up right in the air. Second bat down we've seen tonight at the defensive line position.
I believe that was Bradshaw Clem with that. So he had a couple of carries on offense for CPA. That was a great read because the intended receiver, was going to be open on the slant pass there. Got a lot of two-way players in this football game.
Yeah, I'm just going to mention that for as big of a roster as both these teams have, we've seen quite a few players on both sides of the ball tonight, or playing both sides of the ball. BGA, again, without a timeout here, and they look a little confused as the play clock winds down here, down to 3, down to 2. They do get it away, and they do get a pass to Hayes. CPA is flying to the football now. They have 3 timeouts remaining. They may not need to take a timeout here. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
This is potentially the biggest play in the football game. Think about this. CPA, if they get the ball back and have a chance to score again, and they start the second half with the ball, we could very quickly have a 28-9 margin. This is what BGA needs to avoid. Critical play in the football game.
3rd and 5. Remember this play with 2:55 remaining in the second quarter. Can the Wildcats pick up a first down? Empty backfield. 2nd, 3rd, 4th read. And the pass is behind Kellum out of the backfield. I said empty backfield. He had just slipped out. And now BGA is forced to punt for the first time. You are exactly right, Jacob. This CPA defense has kind of suffocated the BGA offense, and now they've got plenty of time to make something happen here.
Maribel was not comfortable on that play. That was his first true misfire of the game. I will say this very quickly. Don't be shocked if we see a fake punt. I've seen them do that this season already.
4th and 5. They will punt it away. Man, pretty good kick. And a good catch at around the 32.
CPA appeared very prepared for that one. They caught Nashville Christian in almost an identical situation 2 weeks ago, sort of unsuspecting, and he had an open receiver for a nice 10-yard pass, and they picked up a first down on a fake punt. Having your quarterback as the punter always gives you that wrinkle of an opportunity.
Can make some things happen. So CPA takes over, 2:40 to play. They still have 3 timeouts remaining. They lead 14-9. BGA had all the momentum in the world just a few moments ago. Turn and give to Reed. Again, Rawls-Patterson has been sidelined, which we believe will be for the remainder of this game. But the Lions have gone to a couple of different contributors.
As you've said many times, BGA having no timeouts. If you're CPA, here's what you do. You go slow enough but fast enough. Slow enough to not give the ball back to BGA with too much time, but fast enough that if you pick up this first down here, you can still go score a touchdown.
They toss to the right. Sneaky.
Of course,
Hudson Chance tosses it to Cable.
As quickly as I say that, it's a pass out of bounds, so now a 3rd and 2. And this becomes a critical play. If CPA converts, they're going to be able to run this clock down and basically end the half no matter what. If they don't convert, decision-making time.
Yeah, that suddenly has turned into an interesting play. Lions will shift a couple of bodies over. They're stacked on the right side, which means, of course, they're going to give to the left. And this will depend on the spot, and I think the spot is going to be just beyond the sticks for the first down. That is a big pickup there for CPA, who, as you mentioned, can pretty much milk this clock however they choose down to the end.
That was Reed on the carry there?
Yes.
Did a good job of getting small. There wasn't a lot
just
of space
about to say
there.
that.
He did a great job of getting small to pick up that first down.
Just elusive there. Now back to throw, wide open, and a huge grab by Knox McLean. And Knox on the drag route, the senior, one of the first times that either team has just completely lost containment. And McLean, Chance dropped it right in his breadbasket there. First down. BGA is all sorts of confused. They had too many men on the field just now. CPA snapped it. There was no flag. Everybody is confused, I think, right now. Minute 14 to play. And CPA calls a timeout. That was a crazy sequence. McLean made the grab and went down. CPA, as you mentioned a moment ago, they're going turbo speed right now. BGA had a defensive back on the far sideline who was actually lined up offside as if he was the wide receiver, and then he realized what was happening. He finally got off the field, but not before CPA had already snapped the ball.
CPA does something that you don't see a lot at the high school level. When they pick up a first down in the passing game, they are quick to the line of scrimmage, and they are quick to snap the ball. Though that's now 3 times we've seen in this game where as soon as they had a passing first down, rushing downfield ready to get that next playoff because they feel like, I mean, obviously that's something they're repping in practice. They feel like they're going to have the defense in a misalignment somewhere.
They did right there.
It didn't work to their advantage. They didn't get the call,
right.
But it was a great job of execution. And you see how well coached CPA is in those little details. And I'll also add, it won't show up in the final stat line as like a 300-yard passing effort, but CPA, what they're doing, I think that's 6 times they put the ball in the air now, 6 for 6 in the passing game.
That's very efficient.
These receivers are open because there's so much pressure to stop the run.
BGA borderline needs a turnover here. 2nd and 7. Ball's at the 22. Minute 13 to go. CPA will have 2 timeouts remaining. They won't need them. Oh, just tripped up nearly into the end zone. Reed with a huge tackle and a shoestring grab from T.O. Ote to save a would-be touchdown. We go under a minute to play now. CPA already leading 14-9. Chance turns, gives to Reed. Reed, little Olay defense there as he breezes by a would-be tackler. He's brought down at around the 8, and CPA will take a timeout with 44 ticks on the clock.
Wade, I'm not sure how many plays the CPA offense has run in this quarter, but I'm going to guess that they've run more than 20. BGA has not run maybe 8 or 9. And you're starting to see the fatigue set in on the BGA defense. Right there, Elijah Fernandez for BGA got into the backfield very quickly, but he looked tired at the point of attack. He stood up. He was not in position to really attack and tackle the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. So it results in a gain for CPA. This is exactly what we kind of previewed, and the fear is CPA can wear on you in the run game. And so we talked about that 3rd down play for BGA. If they did not convert, it was putting them in a tough spot. CPA now inside the 10. If they score a touchdown in these final 44 seconds to be up 21-9, almost perfect when you consider they started out down 3-0 in this half.
Started out down to 3-0. And then it was 9-7. And it's, quote, only 14-9, but you can feel the tide completely turning in this game right now. This is a massive
is being a part of something bigger. Farm Credit Mid-America is a customer-owned lender that specializes in agricultural financing for farm real estate, operating, and farm equipment. A unique benefit of being a part of the Farm Credit Mid-America Cooperative is our patronage program, which has put over $1 billion back in our customers' hands over the last 7 years. That's the power of a cooperative. Visit us at fcma.com to learn more.
I own the land. I farm the land. Together we're farmers. This is our cooperative.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
He shoots, and he scores!
Back with you guys here. Main Street Prep's Thursday night football game of the week coverage. Presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Alongside Jacob Underwood, who has gone down to the field for the moment. We'll check in with him a little bit later in the halftime show. But it is 21-9. CPA with a big turn of events here in this ball game, as BGA led 3-0. They led 9-7, but back-to-back touchdowns for CPA, including one with just over a minute and a half remaining in the first half. And they get the ball to start the third quarter, means that the Lions have really wrestled control away from the Wildcats in this game. It was a really, really kind of a hyped build-up to this game, and BGA came out on a very impressive opening drive, marching right down the field. Had to settle for 3, though. They did convert the field goal, but you know they would have loved to have put the touchdown in. And so with the touchdown left by the wayside, 3-0 was your score. CPA on the very next drive, the opening drive of the ball game for the Lions, they had to punt. You're thinking, oh my goodness, where is this game going to end up? But BGA was limited on their next possession. CPA gets it back. They answer, and they make it 7-3. And then at that point, it is BGA answering thanks to a big pass play downfield as the Wildcats, Fletcher Fields, the wideout. Caden Marable, the junior quarterback, delivering a room service dime there to Fletcher Fields. Fields going full extension down to the 3, and then that ball was eventually ran in on a touchdown. And so the Wildcats take a 9-7 lead after the extra point was no good. Flash forward, CPA, however, they answer right back. And then the thing kind of started to sneak away from BGA as CPA's ahead 14-9. The offense kind of starts to struggle, kind of starts to sputter a little bit. And on a crucial, we will go back and revisit this play later tonight because it could be the biggest play of the ball game. On a 4th and goal from the 2, the Lions do elect to go for it rather than kick the field goal, and they convert and make it 21-9 before halftime, and they are set to get the ball in the second half. So that is how first half comes to an end. It is 21-9, CPA on top of BGA. Jacob and I return after this here on the Main Street Preps Thursday night football game of the week, presented as always by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Being a part of a cooperative is being a part of something bigger. Farm Credit Mid-America is a customer-owned lender that specializes in agricultural financing for farm real estate, operating, and farm equipment. A unique benefit of being a part of the Farm Credit Mid-America Cooperative is our patronage program, which has put over $1 billion back in our customers' hands over the last 7 years. That's the power of a cooperative. Visit us at fcma.com to learn more.
I own the land. I farm the land. Together we're farmers. This is our cooperative.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We are back with you guys here. Main Street Preps Thursday night football game of the week coverage, presented as always by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who remind you that fans, don't let fans drive drunk. And it is 21-9 here. Sorry about that, folks. In and out. One quick scoreboard update on our Twitter feed there. But the CPA Lions lead the BGA Wildcats 21-9. I told you he'd be back at some point, but he has returned. He went down to field level. Jacob Underwood, what's the mood like among the two sidelines as you made your way down to the field level there?
Wait, I made it. Excuse me. I made it from here to the bathroom and back in 8 minutes. And yes, I did wash my hands very thoroughly.
That was impressive. The insider secret. I always tell Chris Bledsoe goes to the restroom at halftime on our Giles County broadcast, and I always make it sound like he's down on the field, doing these important tasks, and he's maybe interviewing the coach, and he's trying to find out about injuries and things. And I offered you that same sentiment,
but I
and
did.
you immediately said I went to the restroom.
Well,
but what did you glean,
tell
though?
the truth here, Wade.
Okay,
But
all right.
I will explain for those obviously listening to our broadcast
Yes,
that
sir.
are not here in the stands with us. So concession stand here, Wade, is right in the middle. All of this to the right, I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know what those rooms are. Perhaps it's a away team locker room. But the far left side is where the bathrooms are.
Okay.
So in order to get to there, I went all the way around this building, and I passed through the BGA coaching staff. So I did
Okay.
over here,
Okay. I like where this.
I wasn't supposed to be there. So
Okay.
I just overheard for about 6 seconds. And the conversation was centered around how do we stop the run game, talking about committing an extra player to the box because they know they're beat at the line of scrimmage, which my question to you would be, if you've watched film and you prepared for this game, if you watched even like last year's CPA team or the year before, or all the seasons Ingle Martin's been here, didn't you know what CPA was going to do against you? And so if you are talking at halftime about committing another player to the box and how do we stop the run game, maybe that was a conversation for last week. I don't know.
I think what happens, I know in my years of covering Giles County, this is what happened in our visits up here. It seems simple enough, and CPA looks, how do I phrase this? There is zero negative connotation to this statement. They seem very vanilla, and they seem very boring at times, per se, with the way they run their offense. But one man's boring is another man's lethal because they just absolutely flatten you, and they do what they do so very well. And then you're in a situation like this where you're either down 21-9 at halftime, or in the years that Giles County was up here, where the score was even worse, you're down 35 or 42-0 at halftime, and you look up and you say, we got to commit to more folks in the box. And it's like, oh, yeah, the time to do that was perhaps earlier in the game when it was still in hand.
And are you referencing playoff games back in the day when CPA was a public school? Or are you referencing
They were region games. This was regular season.
Regular season region games. I just asked because as I'm pulling up an old schedule from 2020 because I want to look at something. You reference CPA and you're right. So the eye test, just kind of looking at it, there's nothing that wows you. Although they've had some very good football players. Andre Evans at Georgia right now. Langston Patterson, his older brother, was it Kane Patterson? They've had many others off the top of my head. I'm not really thinking all that clearly right now.
You mentioned Langston at Vanderbilt right now.
Landon Humphrey at Georgia is one of the wide receivers at Georgia. Had a standout freshman season a year ago at Vanderbilt, now a sophomore at Georgia. I mean, they've had talent.
Right.
Let's not. But what you're saying is they are not the most impressive team across the field, but they're so sound and
they don't have to be.
They're so well coached. So I was trying to look up back in 2020, probably the best high school football season to talk about that we've ever had.
Okay.
Because there was nothing predictable about it.
No.
You could wake up on Tuesday and find out that your opponent has 17 players with COVID. TSSAA says they can't play, and you're like, okay, well, who do we play on Friday? Let's just wait and see what other team also has that issue, and then we'll call the team who also lost their opponent, and then we'll just go play them somewhere. And so CPA at one point traveled to Oakland, if memory serves. Of course, the 2020 6A state champion Oakland Patriots.
Those Oakland Patriots.
Yeah, the 2019, the 2021. But they went to Oakland and I believe played on a Thursday night. And so I was trying to find the schedule here to confirm that I'm remembering this right. But they played toe-to-toe with the 6A state champion, Wade. That was a really good Oakland team that had two Power 4 running backs, and I have found the schedule. I just don't know if I'm going to actually find the game or not. This, of course, makes for great content on the
this is
on
great
the radio,
radio,
right? But the point is, getting back to what you were talking about, CPA has been willing to play.
2021 CPA goes to Oakland on Thursday. Man, we got a sharp memory there.
I was off by a year, though.
October 7th. Well, lingering COVID, but they go to Oakland and they fall 27-24.
And you are right that there was the COVID carryover part 2. 2021 was weird in its own way, different from 2020. But yeah, that Thursday game, if memory serves, was not scheduled. It was a late addition to the calendar for both of those programs back then, and CPA had a fantastic opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. And so it brings us back full circle to this conversation. CPA has proven time and again to be one of the best programs regardless of class. The only team that has really come in and pressed them, aside from Alcoa in the early days when CPA was in the 3A classification or the 2A, I forget now because we're going way back when, but that was Lipscomb when they had Trent Dilfer. And Lipscomb was at a different level in terms of players wanting to come play for them. So they just had more talent than CPA did. Otherwise, CPA is so well coached in what they do. They execute. I mean, I've seen them go to Ravenwood and win football games where you say Ravenwood's a 6A program, more players, should have better offensive line, defensive line play, and CPA says, now, we're going to beat you at the line of scrimmage, and they do. Just year in and year out, so impressive what this program, despite playing a very difficult schedule, what this program does.
What you just said is 100% accurate, and that's the level that BGA probably is aspiring to get back to. This is a rematch of the 2018 D2 AA championship game that CPA defeated BGA in. BGA has had some years. You touched on it in our pregame. They've had some years over the last 2 decades that have been fruitful, but not the sustained success what they're trying to get to right now.
As we talked about, as we were setting the tone for this matchup, BGA investing in Bobby Bentley as their head coach sent a signal to everybody in the mid-state area, not just to the CPAs and to the FRAs, but to Innsworth, to Brentwood Academy, to MBA, to all of those private school programs. They said, we're ready to compete too. And they know that that's a tall mountain to climb. It's not going to be done overnight. But I have predicted, my opinion is BGA will win a state championship within 3 years under Bobby Bentley because there's so many players in the Williamson County area that are going to see what they're doing and say, I want to go play there. That's what has happened, at Lipscomb Academy.
Yes.
I want to go play there. I think Innsworth with Hasselbeck, people are going to be like, I want to go play there. And so I think BGA is going to end up in that conversation, and they're going to be pulling a lot of players within the next year or two.
You ate into all of your time to talk about the Vols in Oklahoma at halftime, by the way. So we'll have to see how this second half unfolds. As Jacob Underwood throws his hands up as if to say, I'm not worried about Oklahoma. I'm just glad to be here. We're glad that you guys are with us. We're having a blast. Next Thursday, real quickly before second half begins, it'll be Spring Hill and Lawrence County. Tonight we got BGA and CPA. Next week we go back south. It'll be Spring Hill and Lawrence County. That'll be a fun one. As our Thursday night coverage continues here.
A question to see if you can answer it while you're there. What has happened to Spring Hill football? One of the proud programs of the mid-state area back in our day when we were in high school in the early 2000s. Spring Hill not as good these days.
They are struggling, but they have been battling. They've had a couple close games this year. And, man, speaking of close, there are 4 players close to stripping that football right there on the first carry of the second half. CPA goes up the middle. Christian Walker, the junior safety, was really the young man who came closest to maybe punching that football out. They say that no gain on the play. I thought maybe loss of yards. 21-9 is your score. It is the early stages of the third quarter here. CPA leads. Pressure, sacked. First time tonight that BGA has gotten home, and Nate Fleming, who's had a couple of good stops in the backfield, gets a first sack for either team tonight.
Credits to BGA for that defensive wrinkle. We'll talk about it in a minute because there's a lot going on out here on the field, Wade.
3rd and 16. That was a massive stop. Can they get another? Ooh, nearly got home. Screenplay, incomplete. I was wondering why Fleming was scot-free toward the quarterback again, but it makes sense as the screen play was on and it's incomplete. There is a penalty marker down.
I'm wondering if it was illegal participation on BGA. There was so much confusion. I didn't want to talk about the second down play because BGA had defenders running on and off. CPA got to the line of scrimmage very quickly, which is definitely something in their pre-scout that they have seen. They were trying to catch BGA.
You said it. Illegal substitution.
Yeah, there was a player who looked like may not have gotten off over here, and so credit CPA for getting that play snapped in time, so it's a free 5 yards, and now they have a third and manageable situation compared to that 3rd and 16. But we had talked about those defensive halftime adjustments. We saw BGA on that second down play.
Yes.
They saw the out route coming, but the safety had stepped down into the box, looked like a bit of a run blitz. As soon as he saw that the pass was on, he just stopped. Receiver was double covered at that point. Had he thrown it, was going to be an interception, pick six, so he ate it and took the sack instead of making the Will Levis mistake.
That one cuts deep. Smart decision-making, though. That is correct. 3rd and 11. They go back to the air. Fleeing. Flicking of the wrists. Oh, my. That was ended up coming. That was a crazy situation as Jack Van Orman ends up being the intended receiver. It looked for all the world as if Cable was going to come back and make the grab. It also looked as if perhaps that Chance was beyond the line of scrimmage. I mean, there was a wild turn of events here, but at the end of all that, it's an incomplete pass. But there is a flag, and there's a personal foul. And did they rough the passer?
There was a lot of CPA sideline was asking for that. I do believe that was what the call is. And that's one, so for the listeners, that play happened right in front of the CPA sideline. He was past the numbers, probably 5 yards from the sideline, and so the coaching staff was very loud, and it seems as though they were able to get that call in their favor because of the proximity to the two referees there. Backbreaking for BGA because they had gotten the stop that they needed twice.
Yes.
Penalties. I mean, that's 7 critical mistakes for BGA in penalties now.
And on 1st and 10, here comes the ground game now for the Lions. Game is kind of getting a little chippy. Jacob mentioned in our pregame show that penalties have been a bit of a concern for BGA, and they rear their ugly head there. 2 different stops negated via penalty.
We've said it at least 4 times, now at least 5 times. The little details, the attention to detail, CPA makes so many small critical plays, whereas BGA has made 7 pretty significant mistakes in these penalties now that have arguably cost them 2 possessions.
2nd and 3. It's still 21-9. Here's a dump in the flat. And upfield for the first down. Knox McLean, who had that big catch on the sideline early in this ball game. First down here. Man, this is a totally different game if BGA gets those stops, and now CPA seems like they found their footing.
Remember in the first quarter when you're talking about the energy on the BGA sideline?
Yes.
This was a different atmosphere. This was a different game than what you saw a year ago. Tell me what you see over there right now.
Not great in terms of atmosphere. After that sack, they were up, but again, the back-to-back penalties, and now here come the Lions just mauling the Wildcats up front. Churning out yardage. Reed, the backup tailback again. Keep in mind that Rawls Patterson played only 1, maybe 2 snaps and came out and has not returned. It is 21-9 as the Lions in their purple tops and gray or black, one of the two, hard for me to tell, bottoms here. They drive toward the east end zone. Same end zone they scored multiple touchdowns in the second quarter. It is 21-9. Rolling to his right. And that pass is incomplete. BGA's got to calm down. A pedestrian stop on 2nd down. And on the verge of getting a celebration penalty was Kean Iverson. It's like, hey, it's only second down. We still got third down to potentially think about, or even fourth.
Because the helmet came off a 72 there for CPA, they had to sub in a backup lineman.
Third and 3. Clock is stopped with 8:58 to play here in the third quarter. Deep ball. Oh, my, great job of adjusting, but it's incomplete. Cable came back to the ball. Cable is going step for step with the cornerback for BGA. That is Christian Thompson.
He did a tremendous job of getting in the way without touching the receiver and made it really difficult for him to come back for that one. That was another one of those high fade passes down the sideline where Chance is trying to give Cabell just an opportunity to go make a play. Defender did a great job getting in the way.
Cabell hauled in the touchdown that made it 21-9. CPA will go for this, 4th and 3. Full house backfield. That pass nearly tipped, but it is caught. And in and out of the hands.
Your guy, Kean Iverson.
Man, Iverson was frustrated there because he just missed making the stop, and instead it is a pickup for Brock Bedingfield, the tight end.
But notice again, CPA with the first down in the passing game get up to the line of scrimmage very quickly. They get the mismatch.
And they immediately turn, hand off to Bradshaw Clem, the junior.
BGA had 2 defenders they were trying to sub on, and somebody yelled, no, we don't have time. They pull them back over very quickly, or they would have had too many men. Again, CPA is so quick to the line of scrimmage, BGA just can't get subs in. It's a lot like what Tennessee does.
Yeah, moving at a rapid pace. This one is caught on a toss to the near sideline. McLean brought it in. Knox McLean bringing it in. To your point, Jacob, Brock Bedingfield, the senior tight end, he's number 44. He is split out as a wide receiver because CPA knows that he maybe is not going to be called on at the wide receiver spot. They're disguising him, but by lining him up so quickly, BGA can't line up properly. They're just so well coached and so well orchestrated offensively on this drive here. Again, prolonged after 2 key penalties for BGA. 1st and 10. Ooh, nice wiggle in the backfield. Eventually stuffed, but a good little burst right there from Bradshaw Clem.
And now we see CPA slow down. They huddle, calling the play. Play clock's almost down to 20 here, taking their time between these plays. I haven't seen a high school offense, Wade, that is able to go fast and slow quite like what we're seeing CPA do here on these last 3 possessions.
Clem, oh my, burst, foot race, end zone, touchdown. 17-yard wiggle. Bradshaw Clem made one man miss about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and off to the races. Clem to the house. It is 27-9, 7:14 remaining here on Main Street Preps Thursday Night Football, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
So from 2 stops on 3rd down for BGA, penalties negate both of those stops to a CPA touchdown. The kind of mistakes you just can't make in a football game like this where you are the underdog. CPA now touchdowns on 3 consecutive possessions.
28-9. And the Lions have restored order here, as it were. Leading big, 7:14 remaining in this third quarter. Jacob and I return after this on Main Street Preps Thursday Night Football, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
He shoots, and he scores!
28-9. BGA led this game.
We have
9-7, but it is all CPA since then, partner.
young you and me down here to my right keeping every play in their little notebooks.
You know, I was wondering who. We have an informal stat crew brewing right in front of us there.
I actually asked them how many plays CPA has run on their last 3 touchdown drives.
Are we?
Just to see, and so that they're adding them up right now. I'm quite impressed.
I'll tell you what, their stats are, I would consider, more official than the ones that I have kept.
I suspect your stats are very official, but these two young men, they have pages and pages of notes. I'm very impressed.
The young statisticians are as impressive as the CPA offense has been after trailing early 9-7. They've rattled off 21 unanswered. And BGA is in a little bit of a crunch here. This is a crucial situation. Toss toward the left. Arnett Hayes hauls it in out across the 41. Jacob, this is the nightmare scenario that you predicted in the second quarter. You said CPA has a chance to score and then get the ball back and score again. And that's exactly what happened, and that's how it's 28-9.
I mean, the score was 14-9. BGA had that critical third down opportunity that they did not convert, and now we see they're down 28-9. Wow. I'm impressed.
Get our this is a pass near the sideline, nearly intercepted. And that's a clean tackle. And the freshman, Curry, gets up and is a little frustrated. I mean, that was a totally clean tackle. This is the other part of playing CPA. At some point, you get frustrated with how lethal and surgical they are. And Curry just lost his cool. He's fortunate that he didn't get a penalty. It is 3rd and 1. BGA goes under center. Quarterback sneak. Not there initially, but the second surge does yield the first down.
So is it fair to say, roughly checking your stats, Marable is right around 100 yards, not much above 100 so far through 2 quarters? So I asked that question because he entered tonight, I believe, as the Mid-State's leading passer. There's 2 different stats that I found online. So
had 1,161 yards, according to Max Preps, coming into tonight.
Which would have him as the Mid-State's leading passer, and we just haven't seen him get into the rhythm through the first 4 weeks of the season.
Pump and go. They'll throw right on cue. Man wide open. That is caught. That's one of those balls that the receiver was so wide open. Fletcher Fields had an eternity to wait for it, and he finally hauls it in, and that is a first down. BGA is suddenly knocking on the doorstep here. Big pitch and catch down to around the 13-yard line.
Some miscommunication there. CPA was in a zone. BGA was able to find the soft spot about 25 yards past the line of scrimmage there towards the sideline. The safety was just a little bit too deep. Didn't want to give up a touchdown there, but instead they give up a big completion. And another flag.
Yep.
It's these little infraction penalties against BGA. You have 2 positive plays and then a penalty.
Procedure penalty against the Wildcats here.
This game is certainly not lost yet. They have opportunity to come back and win this game, just needing 3 scores. If they get a score right here, they're going to have a chance to make a comeback and win. But this will teach them, this will show them that those little mistakes, those 5-yard penalties, got to get that stuff cleaned up or it's going to cost you in the playoffs.
Here's one, and this one was a near disaster. That was the empty hand. Marable went to throw the ball and just lost it. And it's a fumble. That's the 3rd time tonight. We saw a couple of miscues on the first drive or 2 tonight. And Marable fortunate to fall on it. He went to throw, and the ball was not there. It was kind of an unusual play as he pulls the ball back to throw. He just lost it.
1st and 10, now 2nd and 19 because of 2 negative plays.
More to your point in just a moment. With 4:08 to play here in the third. 28-9, CPA leads. Here's a little bowling ball, underhanded pass from Marable. It looks cute. Will look cool on film, but it doesn't yield much. Out to the 20-yard line. It's still going to be 3rd and long here. 3rd and 18, they mark it. Channeling his inner Patrick Mahomes there was Marable, but again, not much as Kellum was bottled up.
No doubt that this is 4-down territory, but you needed more yards on that 2nd down play to get it closer to a 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 18.
Best bet here is maybe just go to the end zone. Instead, they toss to Kellum, who's down to the 10. He's going to be about 6 yards shy of the 1st down marker. 4th and 6-ish, 3:15 to play. Driving toward the west end zone here. Driving toward Bellevue, if you will. Crowd comes to life. It's actually 4th and 9. Offense does not even blink. They will go for this. If BGA is going to stay in this game, they must convert here. 4th and 9. Marable looking to his left, firing across to his right. There's a sea of bodies, and there's an incomplete pass. Everybody's kind of looking around, expecting a flag, but there is no flag. It was just a busted assignment there, and BGA turns it over on downs. 28-9, the Lions take over. Good stop defensively.
Our angle from here is not the best, but it looked like that ball rocked out of his hand just a little bit as he was going to throw, led to a inaccurate pass attempt. And that's why it looked like there was some confusion between him and the receiver. I'm not sure, but either way, it was well covered by CPA.
$2.50 now.
Mark the time on the clock of when this possession starts. Going to be really interesting to see. Can CPA run, say, 9-10 minutes off of this? Punch another touchdown in, make it 35-9, and effectively end the game?
You know, first and foremost, CPA is glad that BGA didn't score. But, you know, I think after the night they've had, they kind of are, embracing this a little bit here as a challenge. Saying, let's see how much we can bleed this thing. We've already had drives of 10-plus plays end in touchdowns. Let's see if we can go 86 yards. 2nd and 8. Reed is stuffed. As soon as I say that, maybe BGA says, you know what, we came close to stopping you earlier, if not for some dumb penalties. And, man, this could have been a crazy different ball game. Even in the second quarter, obviously, but even in the third, if BGA, after the big sack on 3rd down, could have gotten the stop without the penalty.
Well, BGA's offense had a 3rd down they didn't convert, a 4th down they didn't convert, and then you just referenced the defensive 3rd down that they failed to convert even though they did twice. Can they actually make a big play here?
3rd and 8. Pump and go toward the sideline. Airmailed it. And that pass was way over the head of the intended target. A pure out-and-out incompletion there. The good news is Chance threw it where nobody could catch it, only his intended receiver, Van Orman.
Degree of difficulty on that one was very high.
Speaking of Van Orman, it looks like he's going to try out the punt here. He stands back at his own goal line. Curry, the dangerous freshman returner, is back at midfield. Van Orman gets the kick away. Curry gets the field at the 45, cuts up field, out to the 35. I don't know about you, Jacob, but in the Giles County, number one, they don't like to punt themselves very much. And number two, they don't really return. They just kind of go safe on most of their returns. So a nice punt and a nice return is something I'm not used to seeing very much of. That was a great kick, but it was also a nice, safe return there from Max Curry, the freshman. And BGA is in business at the 33-yard line.
We've talked about him a few times. He's a very impressive player, just a freshman.
Yes.
Going to have a chance to make a lot of plays in his BGA career. And, hey, credit to BGA. They got a defensive stop. So here you are, right back in the same situation, just 20 yards further downfield. If you get a touchdown here, you could cut this lead down to potentially 11, have a chance.
Here we go toward the sideline, and now running into the end zone. That's Locke Kennedy. Just no one for CPA ever picking him up, and Kennedy just kept going and going. That is a 32-yard touchdown. That's like the one thing you can't do if you're CPA is go 3 and out quickly and then give up a quick score, and that's exactly what happened. It's 28-15. PAT pending.
Surprised you're not going for 2 here
to
make this a 28-17 game, but we'll wait for the extra point and then talk about everything that just happened.
PAT, they've already had issues with one, but that one is good. Let's stay right here with 1:04 to play. It is now 28-16.
So remember, I pointed to you and I said, mark the clock. 2:50 started the CPA possession. Let's see how much time they can take off. The answer, Wade, not a lot. BGA gets the 3 and out stop and then scores on the very next play. So 1:04 on the clock here in the third quarter. Suddenly, BGA at least has some life. Wonder if you're going to maybe try an onside kick, if you're going to try to do something a little non-conventional here, because you got to get another stop. Going to need 2 scores. Basically, down 12, you need 2 touchdowns. So 2 scores, 2 stops, that's asking a lot. May need to try to create something potentially in special teams here to give yourself an opportunity.
Just when you thought this game might be getting ready to get put to bed, 28-16 in this showdown here. Alongside Jacob Underwood, Wade Neely saying hello. This is Main Street Preps Thursday night game of the week coverage presented all season long by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who remind you the fans don't let fans drive drunk. Kickoff. They do kick it deep. Oh, my. Ball nearly ripped out. It is. It is ripped out.
Calling him down.
And Fletcher Fields, BGA thinks they have had a strip and score. They did, but he was down.
No, they just signaled first down CPA.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, in the strip attempt, man, BGA is frustrated 2 different ways now because, number 1, they thought they had possession. Number 2, they thought they had a strip and score. And instead, they're denied both opportunities when they say that the ball carrier was down. And, man, it was close. I think it was probably the right call. But Fletcher Fields did a great job of selling it, if nothing else.
They would have taken the possession without the score, I think, if they had at least gotten the possession there. That's quite interesting. A huge swing.
28-16.
Using the magic of technology here, Wade, I'm going back to watch that play and to see ultimately what happened. Since we don't have a truck to do the rewind for us, we'll try to do it ourselves.
That's more your that's your usual neck of the woods, though, if I recall correctly.
Well, it is my usual neck of the woods, but this is not a broadcast that I have any control over. Regardless, it's CPA's football, and they just picked up a first down in the run game there. It'll bring the third quarter to a close, and so CPA here, Wade, going to have a possession. If they can drive and score, they can ice this football game with just 12 minutes left to play.
Yep, and as I was trying to update, speaking of the truck, I was trying to update our online scoreboard here. That will take us to the 4th, and it will be CPA with a 28-16 lead. This has been a wild game, and you're not going to want to miss the 4th quarter. As Jacob and I return, you're listening to the Main Street Preps Thursday Night Football Game of the Week presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. We're back right after this.
He shoots, and he scores!
All right, now we're ready, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth quarter. Online scoreboard is back. We're up. We're running. He's Jacob Underwood. I'm Wade Neely. This is the Main Street Preps Thursday night game of the week presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. CPA goes for the bundle. Touchdown. 2nd and 10. You think they're going to open it up with a couple of runs? Up top. Over the defense and right into the breadbasket of Owen Cabell for the touchdown. 67 yards on the toss there?
67
Wow.
yards, and I believe about 57 of that was in the air.
What a throw. And what a touchdown. CPA, a team that just prides itself on just throwing haymakers to the body, to the body, to the body. And just when it looks like they need to lean on the run and grind out the clock the most, they just throw a casual 67-yard dart for a touchdown.
Well, but that was a hit to the body, so to speak. I mean, you're just of a different nature. We haven't talked enough about Hudson Chance. He's not a heralded quarterback coming into this season,
but
there are other quarterbacks in the mid-state area that get a lot more conversation, such as George McIntyre at Brentwood Academy, the University of Tennessee commitment, 4-star quarterback prospect. I mean, Hudson Chance in week 1 led CPA to a victory past Brentwood Academy, and we've seen him here tonight. He's a Tennessee baseball commitment, so he's got a fantastic arm. Just hasn't had the 2 or 3 years starting opportunity. This is his first year as a full-time starter. He has looked fantastic. This is a CPA offense. If you have seen them earlier in the season and you're listening to our broadcast, they have gotten a lot better from where they were when this season began. And if you're a region opponent, you're looking at CPA saying, I don't know that we can play with them this season.
This has been a heck of a game, and CPA, again, has tripped up on the kickoff. BGA, it might not be in the cards tonight for the Wildcats as Arnett Hayes is brought down, tripped up on the kickoff return.
Last year, CPA played FRA, another region opponent, twice, regular season and then in the postseason. They were both very hyped football games, Wade, where FRA was thought to be on the level of a CPA. They had a couple of Power 4 football players that are both making contributions as freshmen at the college level. And CPA was simply better than FRA in both matchups. And tonight kind of reminds me of what we saw a year ago where the opponent is the one getting the hype because there's somebody different. And CPA's like Alabama sort of at their peak where it's like, hey, we're still the best team. You can have the hype. We're just going to win by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, we haven't really gone anywhere. We're still here. This has been a fun game. And to the overarching point, CPA, we know we're seeing surgical yet again. But BGA, and I text a good friend of ours, a former certain CPA basketball coach, former Vanderbilt standout, whose last name rhymes with Maddox. We were talking about this game today, and I said, hey, BGA is coming. I don't know that they're just there just yet. And I think that's how this game will play out, and that's kind of how it has played out.
Well,
what's frustrating, though, is there were chances. CPA, the door was kind of ajar there for BGA in the first half, and the Wildcats didn't quite kick it down like they needed to.
Well, and I was going to make this point in the third quarter, and then I thought let's pause and let's kind of let the game play out a little further as CPA leads 35-16, under 11 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. BGA with a 1st and 10, still inside of their own territory, so a long way to go for a touchdown drive here. But this is one of those games at the high school level, and sometimes we see it at the college level as well, where you get humbled a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know, you're 4-0, you're 5-0, but you haven't necessarily been tested yet. And then, you know, let's say you're Penn State and you go play on the road at Michigan. I'll use some programs that you're very familiar with. And Penn State kind of gets humbled and they're shown who they really are. And it shows you what you got to work on, areas where you got to get better. Well, for BGA, that's what tonight has been. It's been a humbling experience. It's taught you, it's shown you your biggest flaws that you could get away with against Nashville Christian or Davidson Academy. But against CPA, you're not going to be able to do that.
2nd and 10. Pass on the run. Nice little curl route as Arnett Hayes picks up the first down.
And so
pick up about 13 yards there.
We've talked about the penalties. We've talked about some of the execution penalty or some of those missed execution opportunities in the passing game. But we talked about in the second quarter, it looked like fatigue set in for BGA.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned it, especially on the defense.
And I think that's a bigger point that this game shows you is the weight room. You've got to live in the weight room. You can put up points against lesser competition. In a game like this, you have to be as strong physically as CPA is and match them in that area. BGA simply hasn't been able to do that tonight. They have a wonderful facility over there, a great indoor practice field, a great indoor weight room. They're going to need to live there. Not to say that their season is over by any stretch of the imagination. They're going to have an opportunity in the playoffs to win some games. But when the offseason comes, they got to live there, and they got to show up in this game next season a lot more physically prepared.
No doubt about it. Incomplete pass did stop the clock, 9:50 to go. If the Wildcats are going to get back in it, they need some big plays. What a catch on that sideline, picked up by Curry. Since you kind of mentioned what's ahead, BGA and CPA both are in action next week. BGA is in the midst. Tonight kicks off a 3-game road swing for them. They're at Hunter's Lane next week. Presumably pretty good chance to get back on track. CPA will be at Good Pasture next Friday. That play on 3rd and 1. Curry was short of the line of scrimmage on that catch by about a yard. And on 3rd and 1, they went with a quick give up the middle. And that was Kellum stuffed by Bradshaw Clem. He didn't lose a yard, but he barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
To the point we were making just a moment ago about the weight room and about getting physically stronger, you see the way that CPA is able to hold up right there at the point of attack. That play was made in April, May, June in the weight room.
That kind of goes to your point, and we'll stay here.
Timeout, BGA.
Yeah, BGA will take a timeout. We'll stay here as we have exhausted our allotment. But to your point, BGA, had some success. Coach Rodriguez kind of had them going a little bit last year. Coach Bentley, we're seeing the football realm of things. But to your point, yeah, the weight room and the other little intangibles, you can only do so much in a short amount of time, and he's doing the best he can. They will get there, but you can't do it in one offseason. That's going to have to be over the course of the next 2 or 3 off seasons.
Sadly, Murphy Fair's football publication does not come out any longer. His book that was the high school football Bible, so to speak, and provided so much great information on the more than 300 high schools across our state. The part that I liked the most was in the front, he had the coaches' records, and he had them broken down by number of years coached. So if you were, under 5, 5 to 10, 10 plus, and then they were ranked by winning percentage. Ingle Martin, since he took over at this program, I believe it was 14 years ago, has as good of a winning percentage as just about anybody in the state aside from Gary Rankin, basically.
Right. Yeah, he has done a fantastic job.
And so that's a long way of saying for BGA there's no shame in this outcome. I mean, you have to build from somewhere. Ingle Martin built from somewhere when he took over.
I will say, I know I've referenced Giles County a time or two on this broadcast, but I'll do it one final time. A really good Giles County team that ultimately in 2013 goes to the state championship game. Really good team. Came into this very same CPA field with dreams, hopes, and desires of upsetting the Lions and were absolutely throttled, humbled, to use your term. So there is no shame, and that's the big question for BGA. And they get Hunter's Lane next week, is how do you keep things in check for all that rah-rah and all that fired up that we saw in the first quarter, there's a lot of long faces right now, but how do you return and keep that positivity after a tough result? They'll have a fourth down coming up out of this timeout.
I want to respond to the point that you just made, but I'm also going back to 2013, and I had a suspicion that CPA lost to Alcoa in the state championship game.
And?
They did. I also think you and I had a suspicion right there that CPA would get the 4th and 1 stop, and
they did.
They did.
Selling out on the run, BGA was, and selling out on the run stop, CPA was. It is 35-16, and the Lions will take over right near midfield.
At the point of attack, CPA has just been winning all night. And so to the conversation that you were having there a second ago, after the first 2 games of the season, as we've referenced earlier in our broadcast, BGA scores 137 points in their first 2 games. Actually, we're going to have a measurement here. Wade, I didn't think it was particularly close.
I didn't either. I thought he might have actually lost a yard.
It doesn't appear to be close. He did lose a yard. I mean, that was short by 2 full yards. As the PA guy says, I mean, they measured. Anyway.
CPA with a public address announcer / stand-up comedian. They do a little bit of everything here.
So as we were saying.
As you were saying.
You were saying, I was saying, we were saying.
Yes, sir.
137 points in your first 2 games. The Tennessean did a story on Bentley ball. And could.
Deep throw here, sorry. Cable. Or Cabell pushing off, maybe. No. But, oh, my. Did he get in the end zone?
Nah, they ruled him out at the 5.
The entire CPA sideline is begging for a touchdown there. 35-16. And if you thought CPA was just going to just take a couple knees and run the ball, I mean, hey, this is a rivalry game. And it's one-sided right now, but CPA, that doesn't mean they're going to stop running their offense. And a massive pickup down to the 5. Turning, handing off. And Dylan Reed is stuffed.
So the Tennessean writing articles about Bentley ball, asking the question, can they break the state all-time points record? I will say, a little too soon on that one.
A little too soon.
Because 16 points in week 5 isn't going to get you there.
You're going to need to put up a couple 60-pointers again going forward.
Well, suddenly your average, you're going to need to get a 70 somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to need to sneak an 80-point in
to get you in that range.
Toss a 1A school on the program on the schedule down the stretch. 2nd and goal from the 3. Oh my! Stuff though. There's been some good individual tackles. I was not prepared to see the BGA defense make as many strong plays as they have made tonight, but Elijah Fernandez, the junior linebacker, there have been a couple of big-time tackles in the backfield for the Wildcats tonight. 3rd and goal from the 5. It is 35-16 here in the 4th quarter. CPA will line up in the pistol. Chance taking the snap. Deep ball over to McLean. Wow. McLean was interfered with, and he still made the grab. The defensive back for the Wildcats mistimed his jump, and Christian Walker jumped right into Knox McLean. And McLean said, that's okay. I still got time. And he waited for the ball, high-pointed it, and CPA adds another touchdown. It is 41-16. As the extra point is on the way, it is up and good. Last year's game was 41-7. This year felt a lot closer, was a lot closer. But right now, partner, it's 42-16. The Lions lead with just under 7 minutes to play.
The way that Chance delivers on those fade patterns to the far corner of the end zone is high level for a high school quarterback. We talked about Marable as the quarterback to watch kind of coming into this football game for BGA, but Hudson Chance has more than shown himself to be capable of leading this program to a state championship.
Chance will not catch Marable in terms of stats tonight.
No.
But he was 39 of 66 for 631 yards and 5 touchdowns coming into tonight. And he has played a heck of a game.
I mean, he was in the neighborhood of 20 yards per completion. And believe it or not, that number, I believe, after tonight will have gone up.
And that's what CPA does. They hammer you. And then just when you let your guard down, that's when they really put one on you. And, oh, my, this is an inadvertent onside kick there. CPA absolutely rockets one off the front line. And LG Webster, poor Webster, who was getting ready to basically turn around for the return, and the ball had such heat on it, it bounces right off his foot, comes right back to CPA, and they recover, like I said, for an impromptu onside kick, inadvertently, if you will.
CPA recovers, and now, as you were saying, we might see them run the ball, and kill this clock.
You don't think they put it up top one more time just to...
Well, if you score a quick touchdown, what you would do is actually run the clock, because then we would be into mercy rule territory.
6:54 to go. You know, there's a little bit of that. Yeah, here's a throw. Here's a deep ball. There's pass interference. Not one, but 2 penalty flags. Our young statisticians in front of us, they all point that one out. They say, yeah, that was pass interference. A DPI there. 42-16.
Partner, I do believe you called that one.
I've just been in this situation before, and it feels like I don't know the true nature of this rivalry, but it just feels like kind of what you mentioned, the other publication that had written articles about BGA, and just like, hey, we're still here too. We're still the gold standard.
But here's the problem with what I was saying a moment ago, just to clarify. Even if they went for 2, scored a touchdown, went for 2, it's only 34, so the clock would not run.
30 will get you there.
Wait, the rule changed?
Yeah.
It's 30 in the fourth quarter?
Well, we're about to find out, partner, because there's a ball and there's a touchdown.
32 yards.
That gets Underwood to his feet. That gets the CPA faithful to their feet.
I mean, Owen Cabell is making...
Cabell's on fire tonight.
He's making SEC-level types of catches.
That was a pretty good throw by Chance, but it was slightly underthrown. But the underthrow actually works in Cabell's favor as he pulls up and readjusts to make the grab. And the route is really on now.
He has a terrific feel for the ball. Like he is a true wide receiver that knows how to play the position, not just a great athlete who's faster than everybody else.
I have been very impressed with I was impressed last year in this game with CPA. I'm impressed again this year. 49-16. The Lions are rolling. And in case...
So did the rule change? It was 35 at any point in the second half. Did they make it 30 points in the fourth quarter?
I want to say last year they lowered it to 30.
Specific to the fourth quarter or the second half?
I think it's the whole second half.
Okay.
We'll find out in just a moment. The only reason I say that is Giles County, their first win this season, they just barely eclipsed the 30-point mark early in the third quarter, and they really got the clock rolling there.
Edwin Diaz about to come out of the bullpen here.
Yeah, they got the trumpets going here. CPA's having a good time. We mentioned it was senior night for the cross-country teams. CPA, with a little bit of mercy here, does not attempt another inadvertent onside kick. BGA will return it.
As you said, the clock is officially running.
Second half, 30 and over. We'll get you there. Real quick, Jets 14, Patriots 3. For the perhaps one other Jets fan that may be listening to this game besides myself.
So I do want to say, we were talking about BGA and sort of what this teaches you about yourself, about your program, you as an individual player. It is not Bobby Bentley's fault. It is not Caden Marable's fault. It's not anybody on this BGA sideline with this BGA program. It is not their fault that they were getting hyped in the media.
Right.
And being talked about as potentially breaking a state record for points. All they did was go out and play well in their opening 2 games of the season. So I don't want to be too critical of that program as though they have done something wrong. They just got beat by a better football team tonight.
Absolutely, and more to that point in a second. It'll be 2nd and 10 here, 49-16, as this one is definitely going to go in favor of the Lions. We had Bobby Bentley on our show 2 weeks ago on Main Street Sports Today, Mo Patton and myself, and he said as much. He's like, hey, we know we put up some big numbers the first couple of weeks that maybe get some attention, but we know that we, as a program, have a lot more to improve on. Sometimes you learn more potentially you learn more even in a loss, but sometimes you learn more in a 20-10 win than you do in a 51-10 win. Or in BGA's case, as we saw earlier in the season, 60-plus point performances. That's what it's going to be so fascinating to me. If you can keep your psyche in a good spot, as it's 5th down here, according to our CPA scoreboard. I don't know if you saw that momentarily. They've adjusted it now to be 4th down. But if you can keep your headspace about you, I still think BGA has a chance to do some really special things this year.
For sure. And the point that I would add as I'm thinking about what you're saying there, Wade, you have to remember this is high school football. And sometimes we can get lost in that college football or that NFL sort of conversation. But in high school, let's take the program you've referenced several times, Giles County.
Yep.
You go on the road to start the season at Page.
Yeah.
A bigger school with more students, 3-time state runner-up in the 5A classification. There is no disappointment in losing that football game, except the disappointment of, we wanted to win, but we didn't. But you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes you lose to the better football team, and that is okay. And for BGA, let's say you finish this regular season 8-2, you win a playoff game or 2. There's no disappointment if that's how this ends up for the program to have come from where they were a year ago to that point.
I agree.
If you could beat FRA, if you could finish 9-1, that is a great season for BGA. Win 2 playoff games, even if you lose to CPA again in the playoffs, however the bracket works itself out, there's no shame in losing to the better football team.
Speaking of which, BGA gets a generous spot there on the 4th down. Here's a pass. This is caught by Curry, the freshman. The wild thing about BGA, they've got a nice roster. A couple seniors, Arnett Hayes being one. But you got a young freshman like Curry. You got Marable, who's a junior. There are a couple sneaky good spots on this BGA roster with year 2 of Bobby Bentley as your head coach on the horizon.
Running back Ethan Kellum, also a junior. He's a key piece of this offense. And to your point, and to the larger conversation, that we've been having for the entirety of this 4th quarter, I remember when I was in high school, we went to Greenbrier and played. Greenbrier ended up losing in the state championship game. If you want to,
we got a
shout
sack
out the
here.
sack there.
There's Brock Bedingfield, who caught a pass earlier, but the senior linebacker makes a sack there. It'll be 4th down.
Son of Blake Bedingfield, former Tennessee Titans scouting director. But we went to Greenbrier. This has been 20 years now, and got humbled at the line of scrimmage as I talked about, and ultimately it made the Page football program better. And so for BGA, this could be one of those a year from now. If you were to beat CPA, you look back on tonight, we've talked about it in full. If it can come full circle for them a year from now with all of those juniors, it would ultimately be mission accomplished, even if it was the wrong route to get there.
Couldn't agree anymore. And on 4th down, they will flee from the pocket, and that basically will put the wraps on this game. Post-game show will be extremely brief, partner. So your final takeaways, we've talked at length about BGA and kind of what they've done and where they need to go. If you're CPA, you faced a little adversity tonight, did you not? You kind of withstood that and then some in a game in which you trailed And it kind of looked like you were on the ropes, and by the end of it, you get a running clock situation.
Well, CPA is a team from a schedule standpoint that has been tested. We talked about early in the broadcast. Brentwood Academy, Pearl Cone, MBA, they have faced their tests. They'll have FRA coming up October 25th in Week 10. That's probably the toughest game left on their schedule. So I think CPA has, through 5 games, learned a lot about who they are, and they have proven themselves, in my personal opinion, to be the best team in their classification and the favorite to win another state championship this season.
As time winds down here, CPA, the clock was running. The clock is still running, and they're going to call. Thought they had signaled a timeout, and Ingle Martin was out there on the field, and I was like, wait a second, are we going to call this timeout or not? They're just going to go ahead and line them up. That will be a final, folks. CPA comes roaring back and defeats BGA in the Battle of Unbeatens tonight, 49-16. What a performance for the Lions. Again, it was 9-7 in favor of BGA in the second quarter, and we're thinking, okay, this is a chance. CPA might be a little wounded, but the Lions score with 3:33 to play in the second quarter to make it 14-9. They add another score to make it 21-9 at the break, and then in the third quarter and eventually fourth, they pull away big. 49-16 is your final score. Jacob Underwood, your final thoughts, my friend.
As I said a moment ago, I believe CPA is a favorite to win a state championship. We may look back on this game in December and say we called a state champion game on Thursday, September 19th. September 19th. We called a state championship team as they improved to 5-0 in the regular season.
Partner, good to be with you as always.
It was my pleasure.
We had fun doing it last Thursday on Arno Road. We will have fun tonight. We had fun tonight doing it. Thanks to our young stat crew from CPA for helping us out tonight. And thanks to Jacob for being here. Thanks to Chris Yao and Scott Stewart from the Pulaski Citizen and Main Street Media. And also a special shout out to Harrison Whiteside and Sam Martin from CPA for helping take care of us tonight. Thank you guys so very much. For Jacob Underwood, I'm Wade Neely saying so long. Your final tonight, the Lions roar back after trailing early and win it going away 49-16. We will see you next Thursday. It'll be Spring Hill at Lawrence County as our Main Street Preps Thursday night football game of the week presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office rolls along. Wade Neely saying good night from CPA.